Clips, clips. Welcome to the clips. The fun never ends. We'll dive into topics, make new best friends. So grab a seat, get ready to go. On the Clips Podcast Show, let's enjoy the flow. Ain't nobody messing with mine. We'll discuss the latest trends and news. Laugh and debate, leave you feeling amused. Oh yeah, Tim the man as your host will keep the energy high. Interviews and stories that will touch the sky. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Oh, new life, new subjects, crazy world.
Hey, Jazz, what you doing for the 4th? Y'all cooking?
I'm probably barbecuing, yeah. I barbecue every year.
You can't get a bone, man.
I figured that shit. First of all, I don't eat that shit.
You don't eat that?
But I'm pretty sure she'll find something that I eat. You know what I'm talking about on the grill.
Okay.
I don't eat pork, so. Or
I just said I don't eat that shit neither.
okay then.
What the?
Put
What
it
the
in your
fuck you
wall.
putting on the grill? Corn in the cob? Look,
Put
corn
it
in the
in your
cob.
wall.
Sound like a tussle, boy.
Hey, what you putting on the grill? Corn on the cob?
No, I'm making some jerk chicken
Couple bells.
legs.
Discussing what keeps ordinary Americans from escaping.
Oh, hold on. Let me get this. All right. Yeah, get it started. Go ahead. What you say? Corn on the cob and what on the cob?
I'm making jerk chicken legs, making some barbecue chicken wings, some fried corn, some salad. I'm gonna have some fruit and this pasta stuff. I don't know if my mother coming to cook some other stuff, so we'll be here.
All right. Well, we'll start this thing off. Welcome to the Clip Podcast. She making chicken and all kind of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and all stuff like that, you know. But yeah, welcome to the Clip Podcast. Like, subscribe, share. We got a couple of subjects. I'm kind of threw off here because with the P. Diddy stuff, I'm gonna have to throw that in there because man, this stuff is off the chain. But anyway, we'll start this thing off with I'm trying to do a little damage control because things are so crazy out of hand with the Trump administration. Financial people getting laid off. I'm trying to. My first subject is I'm gonna just 5 assets that keep Americans poor. I'm gonna show y'all 5 assets that'll stop you from getting poor. So we're gonna start it off with that.
Americans from escaping poverty, it is natural to focus on wages, unemployment, or government assistance programs. Yet strikingly often, poverty is perpetuated not merely by a lack of resources, but by the very assets people believe will lead them out of hardship. An asset is typically defined as something of value owned by an individual. In education, credentials, savings, or even durable goods like cars and appliances. But if the acquisition of an asset entails debt, maintenance costs, or unrealistic expectations, it can become a trap rather than a pathway to prosperity. In my decades of studying economic behavior, I've come to recognize 5 particular assets, commonly lauded as building blocks of the American dream, that more often serve as millstones around the neck of the working poor. Let us begin with the first and perhaps most celebrated asset, the 4-year college degree. Go to college, we are told, from the time we learn to read, and you will get a better job, earn more money, and enjoy a higher standard of living. And indeed, in aggregate, those with bachelor's degrees do earn more on average than those with only a high school diploma. Yet the average wage premium masks dramatic variation by field of study, type of institution, and the debt required to obtain that degree. Consider, for example, the student who attends a private college with annual tuition of $50,000, 0 cents. Financed almost entirely with loans. 2 students realize that even after interest capitalization, they may graduate owing $80,000, 0 cents or more. If that student majored in a STEM discipline, landing a well-paying engineering job might indeed justify such debt. But if the major was philosophy or communications and the student ends up in a part-time retail job for which a high school diploma would have sufficed, that $80,000 0 cents becomes a lifelong burden. Interest payments on the loans reduce discretionary income, discourage saving, and delay discretionary life choices like marriage or home ownership. Meanwhile, the launched expectation that the college-educated would automatically command a high-paying career fails to materialize. Census data from 2018 shows that 1 in 6 college graduates is underemployed, working in a job that does not require a bachelor's degree, and many of those underemployed graduates still struggle to make monthly loan payments.
I remember, that's the first one. I think my second one is... let me see here. Give me a second.
Bills is already unforgiving. And the family ends up paying well over 50% more than the retail price. Of course, the revolving credit account, once mismanaged, can carry an interest rate of 24 to 30%.
Credit cards is another way we stay poor. Here we go.
30%. Terms akin to payday loans. Meanwhile, retailers partner with credit agencies that do not require proof of income or a job. Any adult with a social security number and checking account can qualify. The result is debt that escalates far faster than income, leading to a cycle of missed payments, credit report damage, and unrelenting collection calls. Meanwhile, family members, partners, or even grandchildren who become authorized users see a revolving line of credit as an entitlement rather than a potential trap. They rack up small purchases, just $10 0 cents here, $20 0 cents there, until the bill arrives as a $1,200 0 cents shock. Each rollover. In some cases, Wall Street brokers become financial advisors to unsuspecting working-class families, recommending investments that promise guaranteed returns, which are in fact deeply opaque derivatives or proprietary funds that allow the broker to extract 4 to 5% of assets under management every year. Only when the investor retires and sees a monthly distribution that is far less than expected do they realize that tens of thousands of dollars have been siphoned off in fees and commissions. Worse, just as the dot-com crash of 2000 or the mortgage meltdown of 2008 taught us, investment risk is not uniform. Small investors who cling to guaranteed products find their accounts frozen.
Talking about a retirement account. That's another asset that make you poor.
Everyone has a TV. Saving for retirement is mandatory economic decisions. If we are to break the cycle of asset-induced poverty, we must complement personal vigilance with public education reforms that restore the teaching of civics, consumer economics, and critical thinking. I recall a study in which students who learned the basic rules of compound interest in 9th grade were years later significantly more likely to save money and avoid high-interest debt than peers who had not received that instruction. Yet 2 fee-draining retirement accounts. To reverse this injustice, we need not wait for grand political reform. We need a cultural shift toward financial literacy, personal accountability, and transparency in every sector that markets an asset. We must be skeptical of anyone who sees a crisis as a useful opportunity to expand their policies. We must teach that wealth is not merely what appears on a credit statement as equity or assets, but the ability to weather storms, seize opportunities, and live within one's means across decades. Those who promise easy salvation through high-priced credentials, heavily mortgaged homes, or packaged financial products are selling illusions. True prosperity comes from cultivating assets that generate real value, entrepreneurial skills, marketable trades, low-debt living, and prudent investment. It is difficult, I know, to swim against the tide when the conventional wisdom everywhere seems to be buy the house in the up-and-coming neighborhood, take out the loans for the nicest graduation ceremony, lease the flashy new SUV, and sign up for that retirement planning seminar sponsored by your local bank. But if every anchor dropped into your boat is cast with the promise of future riches that never materialize, your boat will sink beneath the weight. Americans must wake up to the fact that not every asset is an asset.
Not every asset is an asset.
Wow.
If a man fucking a bitch that live in a tent,
But I didn't
that
even
ain't
say
the
that.
same thing as a woman fucking a man who live in a tent. If
Nobody said I was gonna pick one up and take it home.
All the niggas who live in the tent wasn't cute, but they was thick.
Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge.
No, I live for Stedman, but you know that Stedman has for many decades been the butt.
KEKE Palmer calls out double standards for women who date men with less money. So you had KEKE Palmer speaking on this double standard that women uphold. Let's keep it a buck. She was speaking on how it's like when women date men who make less than them, it's frowned upon, right? Like men date women who make less than them all the time, right? Well, KEKE, y'all created this double standard. Y'all are ones that want to say he got to make as much as me or more. Y'all
50-50, ma'am, for you disqualify.
Absolutely.
Disqualify? What if he? Okay.
Like I haven't met him. I wouldn't even have met that man. A man that wants to be like half and half had never met me. I didn't meet him.
You a runner. I ain't going 50-50 without I'm 100. I was really be going 50-50 with a nigga. Like, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I feel like if you and your man working 9 to 5 and you know like times is hard, rent is high. Like y'all live together and y'all gotta meet each other halfway on the bill. I don't see that.
I didn't meet him. He wasn't even in my room. I never met a man like that. Literally, I never met the man. Seriously, like there's no way you looked at me and was like, yeah, we going to like. I never met him.
Okay.
I'm not running across him.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with? Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, and then, but at the same time, I got to still be like, guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge. No one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares. And I frankly don't care if that's who you love, that's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never, look, my daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that KEKE don't need. Money.
So KEKE Palmer was on a podcast and she was talking about how it's hard for her to find like a man in her tax bracket, and how she wishes she could date and there wouldn't be like the societal pressure, or like she wishes she could date and there wouldn't be like a societal shame if she dated a man who had less than her. And it's like, to be fair, like KEKE, you're a millionaire. The range between millionaire and bum ass and on your couch, like you could definitely find someone in between that.
We got a red flag on the play. False equivalency and strawman argument. Ma'am, you know darn well that KEKE Palmer was not talking about a bum on the couch. What she was talking about is that if somebody wasn't a millionaire, maybe just a great middle-class job, that she's more than happy to date them. And you know that's exactly what she was talking about. But this is the fallacy that the modern woman espouses. The ethos of the modern woman is that if it's not according to what I like, it must be the extreme.
So let me get this straight. You talking about I deserve a king, but don't even know how to make rice without Googling it. You got DoorDash loyalty, but can't door sweep your own kitchen.
I mean, how can you call yourself a big girl and you are cooking for a man? You are cooking for son of Adam. You are cooking and you are cleaning the house. And you are a big girl. Never.
And you mad at a man for not matching your energy? Respectfully, baby Kevin said, if you don't know how to scramble an egg, stay single and off the internet.
So would you take a Starbucks worker that's making $65,000, $75,000, or you want to take somebody who's told you and sold you a dream on their entrepreneur and hasn't even made $1 on it, but they're scamming on the side so they have a little money to survive?
That's cool, because listen, you ever seen
You prefer a scammer, drug dealer, or a 9-to-5 guy?
I like it, you know, like sometimes, you know, like the scammers, they come up, like, they'll give you gifts and shit. They'll give you gifts.
I don't know.
Please let us know. They don't probably swipe something something and got you something.
You weren't scared to get caught and be associated with him if he get caught?
Like, if I'm not in trouble, I might bail you out. It's fine.
Okay.
You going to jail for him? Oh my God.
You said what?
Maybe.
She said, yeah. I love him.
I love him.
He done cheated on me twice and got me locked up. I'm taking him back.
Ma'am, you keep saying you got a type, but every dude you pick got the same two things: no car and a criminal record. You skipped over the man with a 9-to-5 and good credit for the one with a mouthful of gold teeth that smells like he sassy and a mixtape from 2016. Then when it don't work out, you blame men like you ain't the common denominator in all your bad decisions.
I'm turning 40 this year and everything is just hitting me right now. It's like not where I wanted to be. I haven't succeeded at anything. God, have I even tried? Like, I don't even know anymore. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to cope with anything. And I don't know how to, I did this whole growing thing wrong. Like,
because he don't want to be with anybody but me. Because I'm the only person with him. But you literally just can't do anything. I'm literally...
But you walk by the responsible man for the scammer, the hip guy. So it's all
fume. But I've been wearing the same Spider-Man shoes since preschool. Let's talk about it. You sold the food stamps, bought a 3.5, a lace front, and an outfit to catch a new man. While I'm in hand-me-downs with a broken tablet, you live for the gram. But ain't got no groceries in the house. Ain't even learned long division yet.
savages. Young, they want to party. Rumps dig.
You kicked him out so you could file for Section 8 and get child support without anybody asking where the rent money went. He was providing structure, but you wanted silence because structure meant accountability.
I've been paying you 3 G's a month for rent. Your ass, come on, man, you been playing me, bro.
So what? Like, I needed it. The rent is not the only thing that I gotta pay. What you talking about? I don't have to get a job. Like, you all up in my bitch. You be coming up in my house, so why can't? How are you mad, bro?
On the first of the month, you on low income. That's bitch. Well, hell, man, I can't believe you, man.
So he's mad because he's been paying me rent, and here I got other bills. He acting like rent is the only thing I gotta pay. Like,
I saw a woman on here say that she wanted a man to pay her rent, and he said, "Okay, I can do that, but I need a key." And she said he had a better chance of getting the key to her heart. So at the end of the day, I look at it this way: a lot of women want provision; they want you to provide, but they don't want to have to do anything in return. What is my money getting me? What is my provision getting me? It should be getting me something that makes me happy. Because if I'm just here to be used and abused financially, I could just not be here. So hopefully she got the money to pay her rent, but I know he didn't pay it.
And ladies, you're not getting away with anything because you're the first ones to yell and scream that men don't hold accountability to themselves to take care of their children. But then when...
All right. Let's get into it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me get this over. No, I put 5 assets. I put 5 assets that keep Americans poor. I just want y'all to answer this for me. You could say it do or it don't. I know we covered this in the previous podcast a little bit before. I think me and JT was talking about it. And I think Jazz and Monique, y'all probably remember. We was talking about college versus a trade. Remember that? Remember that, Jazz? I was asking about a college versus a trade. Mr. Davis, I'm about to call you Dr. Davis. Why was I going to call you Dr. Davis? I have no clue.
You're smart, but go ahead.
What do you think right now in today's economy? Do you think in this administration we're in right now, you think it'd be good to go to college or to take up a trade?
First of all, just like that man say, at the end of the day, college provides some stability, but it still offer you start out in debt. Now, more likely, the thing is you got to pay attention to how it works. When they started the trade shit, when people started doing hair, women started getting their hair salons, guys started doing automotives, they had all of that shit. But when Black people are attracted to go and visual learners, which means we learn with our hands and seeing shit. Cognitive learning is where the books come from. We don't give a fuck about sitting still that long. So at the end of the day, looking at the internet, looking at all the way culture has changed, hell no, it ain't worth going to get a degree.
So it ain't worth going to get in that debt for a college.
Oh yeah, but at the end of the day, they gonna change. They gonna move the scoreboard again, and they gonna start making them credentials and those qualifications matter though.
Oh, they gonna
See the
move
ones, yeah, because the ones that are working without credentials and A, B, and C gonna be the ones that get the bullshit jobs that they don't want in the first place.
Jazz, what you think under this administration we under right now? What it look like? Still trade for Dylan and them, or college? What we got under this?
Currently, you already know. I think we talked about this already. Dylan is gearing towards a skilled trade, which is being an electrician.
Okay.
So that's just how I know how my son think, how he learns, how he interacts with things. So a skilled trade going to be an electrician. We already have that plan set. That's something we talked about and agreed on.
Right.
David, on the other hand, my youngest son, he is he's going to be the kid that wants to go to college. He wants to be a lawyer. So that's
that debt, huh? He won't that.
Yeah. We had conversations. We talk about
Did you tell him the bad side of that debt though?
Yeah, we told even David is 10. We still have time. Dylan is going to 9th grade. So yeah, it's a conversation.
Hey, but it's a
that we
flip
have.
side to that debt too now.
Yeah.
It's a flip side to that degree too.
Go
Because
ahead,
I asked them lawyers that Puffy got.
Exactly.
I ain't gotta ask those lawyers that Puffy got.
You're gonna have to be good to get them.
They probably paid their debt off of one case. You ain't dog at the end of the day with some of the bullshit they putting out there, you ain't gotta be that good.
Hey, Monique.
All you gotta do is be better than the motherfucker that. All you gotta do is be better than the person across from you.
What about your kids? Is this a good? Is you still with the trade or college for your sons? What do you think is best to do right now in this administration? Where we at?
I'm still with the trade.
You still with the trade?
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't mess with the college stuff, huh? No college for the kids?
No. Unless you're gonna pay for it out of pocket, no. You waiting on me to pay for it? No. You waiting on me to sign a loan for it?
Right.
No.
Yeah, because you might have to help them sign a loan or something, you know.
I ain't tell you to go.
But I mean, they got to get some kind of education or some kind of training.
You got to go to that community college where you get that grant, and that grant gonna pay for that time that you're there.
So with here, I got 5 things I say that's keeping people poor. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. My number 1 is college. My number 2 is a home. My number 3 is an automobile you can't afford. My number 4, credit cards. My number 5 is a retirement account. Because if you go pull out of it early, they go tax your tail. Did I get it right, y'all? Tell me somewhere I went wrong.
They do tax.
Shit, you went wrong with the education part.
What you mean?
But you went wrong. I'm talking about all that shit's subjective. Because at the end of the day, just like she said, if that baby grew up and be a successful lawyer, and talking about it happens, it's always exception to the rule. But most importantly, like I say, when they start cutting all these programs and cutting all this free shit, it's the more you don't go to college for the education, you go to college to network. Every motherfucker on this phone that basically got a job through a motherfucker they met somewhere. So if you can go to college and meet a motherfucker that's daddy the CEO of Skittles and some shit like that, he become your best friend, you pretty much working for Skittles.
Yeah, but we gotta look
I
at
would
the
never
numbers.
say rule it out.
We gotta look at the numbers and the
You gotta
percentage.
look at the numbers because if you
we do, because numbers
I know
don't
a lot
lie.
of teachers. I know a lot. And that's bullshit because they can be skewed all day long.
Men
at the
lie,
end of the day,
women,
I know a lot more
men
successful.
lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. It don't matter what you say. Men lie, women lie.
Numbers can be skewed. Numbers can be skewed.
Well, all we gotta do is go through our neighborhood and take a look at it, and we'll see the numbers ain't that skewed.
Skewed, dog. Come on, man. I got numbers can be skewed. They can be manipulated. At the end of the day, you know a lot more successful people that have to be in debt.
Mm-hmm. Well, college is putting people in debt.
The biggest problem we have, it's putting people in debt because they ain't finishing. Because they don't have the foundation from high school. They don't have the patience. They don't understand the.
Okay, here you go. Check this out. Watch this.
One more time, man.
Hold on. Let me say this. When you go to college for something, and let's say it cost you $100,000 to complete. Now you come out like the man said, and you get a job that's only paying you 65,000. You're in the negative already based on your degree. So it's not benefiting you to go to college and come out making less than what you put in. The object is to come out making more. But right now, excuse me, most people are coming out making less. That's why we have more student loan debt than we ever had in this country than that. I'm just saying that's one of the ones I got as a debt. What about a home? What do you think? You think a home is a debt, or is that a asset? Is a house an
It's a
asset?
debt when you trying to get into that motherfucker.
Why is that?
It's a debt then.
Why is it
all
a
that
debt?
goddamn money you got to pay to get into that bitch? That's the debt.
That's the debt to
The
get in.
payoff come years down the line when the equity come into play. But right about now, bitch, I'm broke.
Well, that takes some. You got to at least 2 years before you have some equity built up in it. I think about 2 years.
Sometimes it take longer depending on what neighborhood you go to.
That's true. What you think, Jazz? You think a house is a debt or is that an asset?
It really depends on what you do with the home. Like, I wouldn't say it's a debt. I would say it's more so of an asset because you can always make money from it.
That's only if you're renting it out, though, Jazz.
Yeah, that's it. If you're renting it out, or if you're renting it out,
it's costing you.
Correct. It is costing me.
Yeah. So,
but that's why I said it really just depends on like how you look at it, your perspective and the reason of purchasing the home. Like my ex-husband, he flips houses on the side. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
But he gets them for cheap and flips them for more. So
see,
that's different.
That's when it becomes an asset.
Yes. So, but right now, like, it's a debt right now.
Yeah, sure. What about an automobile, y'all? Y'all think automobiles a debt or an asset?
That's a debt, whether you can pay for it or not. You can own that bitch, and it's still gonna be a debt.
What?
You gotta keep making repairs on it. It's a debt. Something that's not giving you any money but taking from the money, that's a debt.
That's a debt, yeah.
Just about everything that we do in life is a debt. That's why it's called a debt note, because we always in debt. You in debt buying that food.
Right. So do you think it'd be best to just buy a used car or a newer?
No, I got a used car. I still got to fix up on that one all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is a debt. If it's not making you money, it's a debt.
It's a debt. That's true. So that's
Your
why
light bill is a debt. Your water bill is a debt.
It's a debt. But the major ones, like the next one is credit cards. Is that a debt or is that something that?
Oh yes, I just paid $14,000 worth of debt last week.
Oh, woo. Would you please come get me and Monique's credit cards and pay ours off?
The devil is a lie to me.
You ain't even got to pay that much on mine. My debt is only $500. You ain't even got to pay that much on mine, Jazz.
Okay.
Add that to the clause.
She got to be. She got to turn the summer clause, not Santa Claus. She got to turn the summer clause. Now let me ask y'all this: KEKE Palmer, she went on to say what she said. We watched. She you know, do black women only want a finished product? And I know we talked about this as well too, of a man, or do most white, you know, or most women work with men that's in the process of a career? Do most women work with a man in the process of a career, or they want a finished product?
Most women work with you.
I really think, majority of the women work with you, right? Now, what happens is when a woman gets played by a man that she's working.
Oh, damn. How they get played? How they getting played if y'all
when you find out the man cheating on you, talking to you crazy,
then
you getting played now. But women usually they will work with the man and who doesn't have it together, help him maneuver the things. He teach him things, teach him how to handle his credit.
Right.
All of that. A woman will do that. Every woman usually does that if they know how to and get it together. Because the purpose is if that person is financially stable and it can lead you down the right way and you can show them how to get there, then that benefits both of you. But it should, yeah. it should benefit both of you. Now that also is a relationship that is, if in hindsight, and we're talking about fairy tale world, that's moving towards like a relationship that has to deal with marriage, right? With the union being started.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
It absolutely should. But KEKE Palmer said, why do women gotta you know, you know,
No, she said her. She don't, because she makes a
yeah.
substantial amount of money.
Yeah,
All
that's
she is
fine.
worried about is her happiness, right?
But she's
She
talking as though she's speaking for every woman though.
No, she wasn't. She said on her thing, she was talking about herself.
I know, but when you project that out there, you see how the young lady jumped in there like she talking balls. How many men gonna find? I mean, how many women gonna find? Men that's making that type of money.
Well, I don't think she never said anything. She was talking about dealing with a man who ain't making barely no money.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Because
So there's a lot of men you can find that ain't barely making no money.
but like she said, see, men, she said we don't care where we find a woman that she could be under breed. We'll take them. Like I say, we men, meaning us, we take women at the lowest point of their lives and make her alive again. When women don't feel the same about men, they ain't doing all that. KEKE Palmer, like I say, when she was talking as though that's running around here a dime a dozen. Girl, ain't nobody got no men running around here making that kind of money. Because she was saying they need to be making equal. Well, I think close to where she at, because she ain't doing it.
No, that's not what she said.
That's not what she said. She said she wanted a man that didn't have any money. She'd take a man.
You want a man that don't have no money.
Then she said she'll take a man that's broke. See, you got the story messed up. She said what other women are requesting. She said the type of man that she's willing to take, he doesn't have to have it all. He doesn't have to be a billionaire. He doesn't have to be rich. She'll take a regular guy, 9-to-5 guy. As long
Come
as
on,
he keeps
KEKE, let's
happy.
see
That's
what
she
say.
said.
KEKE ain't taking
If a man fucking a bitch that live in a tent, but I didn't that ain't
take it up with the rest she was talking about. But this is the fallacy that the modern woman espouses.
And how she wishes she.
That's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with.
Like, y'all live together and y'all gotta meet each other halfway.
Never met him.
Okay.
I'm not running across him.
Yes.
People feel like because she's Oprah Winfrey, who did y'all want her to be with? Barack Obama? That doesn't make sense, guys. I mean, I feel like that's the weird thing about powerful women, what we're left with. So I'm supposed to find love, but he's got to have a certain amount of money, but at the same time, I got to still be like, guys, what's going on here? Why am I? Nobody cares when a man finds his woman under a bridge.
See, that's what she was saying.
No one cares.
No
one cares. And I frankly don't care if that's who you love. That's who you love. Why do we have to deal with that?
Yes.
That to me makes no sense. I ain't never look. My daddy told me a man needs to treat you right. He needs to handle and service you in whatever way you need service. Let me tell you one thing that KEKE don't need: money.
So KEKE Palmer was on a podcast and she was talking about how it's hard for her to find like a man in her tax bracket.
See? She said
No,
it's hard for her to find a man.
Her
tax bracket.
She said.
No,
I'm just saying this young lady just said that.
That is her interpretation.
That's her interpretation.
That's what I was saying.
I watched the whole
person
interview.
ain't got them problems type of understanding. Because that is not what that girl just said. She was very clear as day.
She said money is not the issue. She wants a man who can service her needs.
Yes. Watch this.
And how she wishes she could date and there wouldn't be like the societal pressure, or like she wishes she could date and there wouldn't be like a societal shame if she dated a man who had less than her.
That's exactly. She said it's societal pressure. So the guy that she's with does not make any money. He doesn't have a job.
So she was asking, why does it matter when it comes to a woman who's in a powerful position? Why can't she date less than? Why does it doesn't matter?
But that's not how y'all built.
But she really can't, because when she was dating her baby daddy, she got a whole lot of flack when we found out who her baby daddy was. Shade room was all up on her. Same thing with Halle Berry. Halle Berry was with, she was who she is.
You said Halle Berry?
Halle Bailey.
Oh,
Halle Berry don't even count. And she got with that man. That we talking about Little Mermaid here. When Little Mermaid got with that thug, when she got with that thug, the world was condemning her and telling her she didn't belong with him because he would destroy her life. which
Oh,
he's trying to, but society would not let them be happy because it was not on her level according to society.
that's why
That's
you
what they
don't
were
listen
saying.
to society.
That's what
That's
she's
that's
saying.
what they're
Don't
saying.
listen to
She's
society.
saying
Be with somebody who can service your needs,
Okay.
not their finances.
Service your need. Yeah, that's easy to say when you're a millionaire,
That's
multi-millionaire.
what I said.
That's easy to say. So what? So what's the future of all this sisterhood stuff? I ain't settling for a potential man or woman. Some men say they ain't settling for a potential woman neither. You know, or my body, my choice. It's just so much stuff going on. How they gonna make this stuff work if everybody just ain't gonna do nothing? What we
Well,
gonna
I
do?
really think that a lot of the men who I had to turn my light on out here.
Go ahead.
A lot of the men who have that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
who what I've learned is this: there's two types of men. Men who have that conversation, they barely making it on their own. They looking for 50-50.
Okay.
So they're looking for the girls who are making a substantial amount of money, who who can do for them and go 50-50 and still live a nice lifestyle. Those are men who are users. I've
Wait a
never met a
minute.
man.
Do you
Hold
really
on,
got to be
whoa,
looking for? Go ahead.
wait. Okay, those are those type of men. Cause I know, cause I found. Remember the dude Marcus? Marcus, he went through
why
this
you keep
whole
putting that man's
thing
name on social
because
media?
I don't care. Because I need to make a point. Marcus came to me. He when we first I met him, he didn't want to go on a real date. He wanted to go to the park. But then he talked about how women be gold diggers, this and that. Kind of find out he was broke, living in his mama basement, driving his mama old car, and he really was trying to find some help. That's that type of man. That
He
was a
had an
counselor.
ulterior motive, though. Then
Exactly.
he had an ulterior
But
motive.
that's usually the men who have those conversations. Now, the men who don't have those conversations, they usually don't end up being like that. You can ask Mr. Davis. So, man, it's two different types. The ones who be preying on women, who be wondering, trying to put them in a box to where, oh,
Ask
she
Mr.
got
Davis
to
about
make
who
this,
be
she got
praying
to
on
have
women.
this, she got to have that. But you don't even have a pot to piss in a window to throw it out of.
But
Those
I
be
don't
those
think
type
that's
of men.
all men, though, Jazz. I'm just
I
saying.
didn't say all men. I said that's those type of men
But I'm just saying, if a man come to you and ask you about a conversation about 50-50, I don't think that's because he trying to use you or
No,
I
I
think
didn't
it's
say that.
something.
They're
Maybe
trying
he
to
ain't got
see
it on his
where
own.
you are financially, and they want to know where a man that wants to know where you are financially when you first meet them, and they're talking about 50-50 and not doing certain things and this and that. Baby, we can't talk no more because I already know where you're going.
But
I ain't asked you for nothing.
don't women do that on first dates? They ask you about they ask a man instantly about their finances and
Well,
what would
ask
they
Mr.
be.
Davis. He know he's single bachelor out here.
First of all, I ain't no single bachelor, nothing. See, there you go. I don't tell my business, and I ain't gonna let you create it. But at the end of the day, Jazz is right. But let's start here. And I'm assuming we talking about the little girl in the rent and that shit like
Yeah.
that dude pay. First of all, should no grown ass man be putting his money nowhere that he don't know where it's going. If I don't all you ain't showing me where you paying $2,300 for rent. If
Oh
I
no,
ain't
we ain't
living in
talking about that with Mr.
Yeah,
Davis. We
we
talking
talk
about
about
Keke
Keke
Palmer.
Palmer saying that she what was that again, Monique? That she don't think she should settle.
She doesn't feel like as a that society should have a different viewpoint on women who are millionaires and powerful women
Yeah, because she
dating
got
lower
money.
the same way that men who date lower women who are powerful don't get any flack. As a woman who is powerful, she feels like she should have the freedom to date somebody who's not making the type of money that she is, as long as she is happy and taken care of, and
Yeah,
he's
but at the end.
fulfilling her needs.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the whole problem becomes whether you allow society to dictate how you live your life. Shit, if you want to live your life and
That's
take
it.
care of somebody, he don't work and he do A, B, and C. See, it's more than other ways of having value in a relationship. But most importantly, they go always look at the rich and famous because guess what? They're always in the spotlight. But it's a
Yeah.
whole lot of people that live that type of life and are truly happy. But see, when you ain't at peace with yourself, then you look for others' ideas and the way everybody. It's a sheep mentality. It's a follower's
Yeah.
mentality.
Yeah. You let
Because
society.
if I had $20 million and the average woman had $20 million, she should be able to pick and choose if she want to take. Because one more time, what people don't understand is you can have all the money in the world. It's your time that you don't get back.
Mhm.
So if you want to spend your time with somebody that you care about and somebody that you want to build a life with, then you shouldn't allow somebody else to tell you not to do that shit.
Yeah,
but when you sit there and you need
Go ahead, Mr. Dunn.
But when you sit there and you feel like you need guidance in making your own life decision, that's when you make dumbass decisions like that.
Yeah, like you say, if there's a price to pay when you are a celebrity, when you put, like he's saying, when you put yourself out there, you subjecting yourself to that.
That's right.
Like she's saying, if you want somebody that don't make as much money as you and y'all happy, that's all that matters. You sitting there talking about looking for society to give you the okay on it. That's your fault. Keep about your stuff. And just do your thing. You know, if it's what's working for you might not work with somebody else. Now, let's get to baby.
Because there's a lot of women out here making a lot of money, and a whole bunch of motherfuckers gonna be unhappy. But go ahead, we'll do what?
Baby Kevin Samuels. I like what he was saying too. The question was asked: would you prefer a drug dealer, a scammer, or a man that had a 9-to-5? Ladies, which one would you prefer? Scammer, drug dealer, or man that worked 9-to-5?
I've met some who's had all three, so I'm not even about to.
All three? The dude had all three?
All three.
He had a 9-to-5, he was a scammer, and a drug
How'd
dealer.
that work out for you? Look, how'd that work out for you? That's the question.
I had to move. I had to move, Mr. Davis.
So that probably should be somebody you don't recommend.
No, I didn't move because of him. I was transitioning in life, but that's still one of my greatest friends.
What? He turned out to be a good friend, huh?
Yeah, he had to drop 2 of those occupations though. One of them he just do full time.
And that's the scammer. He still owe her $5,000. That's why they still free.
No, he ain't. He dropped the scamming part.
Oh, okay. He dropped that part.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, he still sell drugs?
He's scared me.
Because you ain't gonna tell me he picked the hardest job. He picked the hardest job out of all 3.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in hell he was gonna do that. You got 2 hustling jobs, and you gonna pick the hardest one, and that's the 9-to-5? No, that ain't gonna happen, baby.
And that's what attracted her to him.
Oh,
my
I like the hustler.
Hey, you can tell. No, you like everything wrong. You like everything wrong. You need a 9-to-5 dude.
Nothing that's on course, huh? What you think, Jazz?
Man, that motherfucker got a big old sign on the side of it. She said, I want that one.
Drug dealer, scammer, or 9-to-5? What you got?
I'd take a 9-to-5.
Jazz want this nigga that can keep the lights up.
Any
kind of 9-to-5.
That could be 9-to-5.
Huh?
That could be the 9-to-5.
Any kind of 9-to-5.
What you mean by that?
You heard him. Any kind of 9-to-5.
I mean, he can have any 30,000, 40,000. We got to get a number.
You know what he asking you.
If it's a low number, it can't be no drama.
That's right. Not the shit good trick. No. See, there you go with all these fucking stipulations. We said, if you got the bread, do you even got to have a job?
That's not what he said. He said pick one. A scammer, a drug dealer, or a 9-to-5. You added shit on now. Look here.
Okay, you're right. I stretched. I went back to the other question. You know, the one with a lot of money kind of keep me sidetracked.
Oh, okay,
but here we go. Okay, so 9-to-5. What do you got to make?
At least minimum 60. So that way you know he can take care of himself.
And now, see, what I do? Look at the stats. The average black man that we talking about makes about $39,000 a year.
But okay, that's fine. But them ain't the ones I be meeting. That work 9-to-5s.
See, now you want to start that shit. That is not the question. He asked you, could you take a scammer, a 9-to-5? We talking about the majority, not the ones you meet. See, it ain't about you. It's about
But let me tell you this.
So let's go in there and keep it all the way on it. Say
I'm
no.
not doing the
See, here we
scamming.
go.
Hold on. Let me go. I'm not doing the scammer. I've done the drug dealer. It's too iffy. The money, they attitudes be with their money. If this ain't go right, if that ain't cooked right, they have little attitudes. I ain't got time for that.
Okay.
I will take a 9 to 5er who is consistent, who can go to work, do what he gotta do, ain't got no drama. Now, okay, if we gotta do
That's bringing home 39,000.
What'd you say?
That's bringing home 39,000.
I don't speak what you said. That means he
the
like
guy that's doing the
20-something.
9 to 5. No, that ain't even grown up. You talking about a 9 to 5? It's motherfuckers 40 years old. They bringing $40,000 home.
If that was the
You can't hear me.
If that was the left of my pickings,
Mr. Davis, do he got to have an education, like a degree or something? He haven't found the job in his field, or do
the qualification. No, the qualification is a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The average black man in this country makes $39,000 a year. We ain't talking about the upper echelon. We talking about the average motherfucking normal mojo.
Okay.
Okay, that's for you, Jazz, because I already picked the
She's quiet about that's for both of y'all.
I had already picked the scammer.
You say you going back to the scammer?
Give me. No, I started with the scammer. I never left the scammer. Give me
My
that
baby
credit
says
card. I'm
she
finna
want
go
to
ahead
cut.
and swipe this card.
She'll take a couple bad checks.
We just
I'm not
go ahead.
She ain't gonna swipe this card. She gonna swipe somebody else's card.
Get your homegirl off the block to go in here and take that check and that ID and that banking. Let's hope she don't get caught.
Swiping somebody else's card.
We're gonna give you $100 to cash this check. Go ahead, cash this check. How many of y'all need y'all rent paid off this credit card?
And then they gonna find all that shit at your house.
We doing half off.
And they gonna find all that shit at your house.
You ain't gonna find nothing over here. One thing about a scammer, they
gonna find it all over there because they ain't got no place to stay with you.
One thing about a scammer,
no, if you is woman,
see, you dealing with low budget scammers, Mr. Davis. You ain't dealing with
scammers.
You ain't dealing with Zoes. You ain't dealing with Miami scammers. You dealing with Ohio scammers. It's levels to scammers. You know, you got the ones that do check fraud. You got the ones that do fake bank statements. You got the ones that do half off flights, credit cards. Then you got the ones that know how to make the checks, cash the checks, close the account.
You heard about me picking the 39 a year, and this heifer trying to go to jail.
I ain't trying to go. I'm just telling Mr. Davis his levels to this.
And watch that. Hey, if they go to and Jazz, they go to think that we both know that's funny. We know you tell me I'm fucking with low scammers. No, you fucking with either your motherfucker.
Your mic going out. Come back up close to the
fucking living room while you open the door while
Mr. Davis, I'm tell you
while
one
the
thing.
bike sitting outside of your motherfucking driveway. You the one.
I'll tell you one thing. I used to tell my grandma, and God rest her soul, I used to tell her this all the time. I understand that some people can stay out of the system. I don't believe I'm one of those people who would stay out of the system. So if I had to choose between where I was going, I was either going Fed or state. I'm going to take Fed time any day. So if I'm going to do a crime, understand it's going to be the crime that gets me into the Fed, not the state.
No, say it ain't so. No, say it ain't so.
So again, Mr. Davis, there's levels to this. It's state scammers and then
it don't work.
If I'm gonna deal with a scammer, give me a Fed scammer because I need to go to the federal penitentiary. They treat you good over there. They feed you. You got gym time. You got televisions. You know you ain't fighting. You got nice pretty clothes that you put on. You ain't got to put on the orange jumpsuit. It's levels.
Stop that.
Y'all like to be lied to on this podcast. I see that now. Y'all want to be lied to on this podcast. Y'all don't like realism. Y'all don't like truth. I'm gonna stop telling y'all the truth.
That's nutty.
I'm gonna lie to y'all.
You did try to help him with the with the Disney.
I tried to help him with Disney, didn't I? Didn't I tell? I told you could get you a nice little free, almost free vacation. You ain't want to listen.
I want to go ahead.
I told you, Mr. Davis, take you one of them timeshare vacations for $99. Sit up there, tell them people no. At the end of the meeting, tell them people no. But get your vacation in for $99, Mr. Davis. That's all I was trying to help you out with.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Jazz, would you ever go on a timeshare vacation?
Hell no, I have not. Cause I ain't got time.
Said, would you ever go on one?
Hell no.
You ain't never going on that?
Hell no.
Hey, if y'all got the link, send them to me. Okay. I don't mind telling nobody no. I sit up in the timeshare vacation. No, I don't. No.
You say no.
No, I don't need it. But thank you for the vacation for the last 3 days.
Ooh. Well, speaking of the word scammer, my next question is the young lady who was scamming my dude out of $2,900 a month. How do y'all feel about the woman who was getting $2,900 and her rent from her boyfriend was only $100? She was getting $2,900. Huh?
Mr. Davis,
she did not scam.
I'm saying, is that a scam or what she do?
She did. She just told him what he had to pay her, but she did kind of play. Mr. Davis, go out and come back in. You reconnecting.
Now y'all not gonna like my stance on this one because I've seen
that's not scamming.
I've seen it several different ways.
I feel like if she told him that was her rent,
she only told him it was $100.
No, she didn't. She didn't tell him.
I mean, she told him it was
$2,900. So he was working all these jobs to pay her $2,900 rent. That actually was only $100. Somebody snitched on her and told him the truth. So she was using the money. She was using the money on other things. I feel like somebody do that to one of my sons, that we gonna be fighting.
Wait a minute. If somebody do what?
Do that to one of my sons?
I'm
gonna go to jail that day.
Why you gonna do that?
Because baby girl, because this is what you told us it was, and you played my son on his top. Now you know, baby girl, he was out here looking for love and trying to be a family to her and her children. He ain't got no children. He was trying to be helpful to make sure her children was good. You lying heifer, I'm gonna beat the black off your ass.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's his fault.
I was gonna say, ain't it your son's fault?
That's his fault for not researching and not knowing. That's his fault.
No, Monique, it isn't his fault because you got to know the whole story. That girl actually gave that man papers. If you go on the TikTok and go on the YouTube, she showed him and said that was the rent, how much the rent was. She made fake paperwork.
I'm not done. That's not my point.
It ain't his fault. She lied. She scammed.
Jazz, you saying that? Hold on, before you say something. You said that she showed him the $2,900.
Yes, he was under the impression. She gave him paperwork showing that's how much the rent was. That's how much she was paying.
Yeah,
she scammed him.
That's not my point. So I'm gonna ask the first question. Is that her husband?
No.
Is that her baby daddy?
No, boyfriend.
Again, his fault. And I'm gonna break it down why that's his fault.
Go ahead.
Girl. First of all, you moving in that girl project apartment. If you paying $2,900 for her project apartment, her income.
She was living in her project.
It's income based. So rather it was she had an income based waiver. She was living in a nice neighborhood, a nice condo in a nice neighborhood.
No. Monique, I'm about to explain how vouchers and how this works here. My cousin has a voucher and she lives in an apartment downtown that's $3,700. She only pays $1,200 for it because she has an income-based voucher. She lives in an apartment with celebrities there. Depending on the company that has that, they take those vouchers. That your rent yourself, because they will take your voucher and let you live there because they are hard up on getting resident there, people to pay full price. They know the state will pay. That is an income base. Your rent is income based because they're allowing you to use the
It doesn't matter if
voucher.
it's a voucher or if
But
it's an
but the
apartment.
apartment
It's
wasn't.
income
I want to clarify though. I want to correct you on your statement. She wasn't living in anything raggedy. She was living in a nice ass apartment.
I said income based. It was income based. It was income. It's based on her income.
Her rent was income based. Her apartment wasn't income based, and it wasn't in the project.
And that's how it is
it was
down
a
here
nice
too.
place.
Whether you live with the Joneses or whether you live with in the projects, it's whoever's gonna take you with that voucher. My whole point is my whole point is that's still his fault. That's not your wife. That's not your baby mama.
So you
you moved into her apartment to live in income. It's though she's paying income based, it was $2,900. Even if she did not have that voucher, it was still going to be $2,900 for her rent. Apparently, from what you're saying, where she lived at, it was still going to be $2,900, right?
So you say he didn't do his homework.
So what I'm saying is, either way, you was gonna have to pay that $2,900, whether you lived with her, whether you lived somewhere else. Either way, you were still gonna have to pay the bills. But the reason why I say I'm on the fence both ways is because women like that messed it up for good men. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why I said I'm on the fence, because you really fucked up a situation with a person who was doing good by you. Mm-hmm. So you don't get no kudos for that. No, you're not scamming. Mm-hmm. But that also plays into what Mr. Davis used to say when Mr. Davis always gets on the phone with us after we get off the podcast, and he'd be like, it's how you raise your boys. You got women out here that are trained to go. He ran into a woman who was trained to go, and he probably got raised by a woman like me and Jazz, who just wants you to be good loving men out there, and he won't prepare for the heartless women that come his way.
But did you see how he brought that to her attention after he busted? Well, you call it bust scam,
and how she got mad and was ready to fight.
Yeah, and there was like no accountability for what she did.
No, she was more mad that she got caught.
She was
more mad at the girl who told him than anything.
It was her. It was her family member.
Oh, it was her family member.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that family member didn't do that because she was just feeling sorry. You know she did. She had her ulterior motives for doing that.
Oh, God, that's cold, man. 29, and then nothing but $100. I mean, I don't think there's no apologizing you can do to her.
And I can see if she took accountability, but karma gonna hit her good, because what's gonna happen is somebody who does not like her is going to send that video to CMHA.
Yeah.
And to CMHA, not the leasing office, because they don't have nothing to do with that. Send it to CMHA and let them know what she's been doing. And then they're going to add that up as her income.
I was going to say, would that make a difference? Because what's set up through CMHA, or what the housing thing is, that's still really not her income, because that's just her boyfriend. It's not her husband, like Monique said.
And not, but what she said was, listen, what messed her up was what she said on the video, what came out her mouth.
What's that?
He's not supposed to be living there, period.
That's true.
Number one, when you see that type of assistance, and you say you were charging him rent.
Yes, true. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That is what's gonna mess her up. What come out of her mouth? Because she was saying he didn't live there, and she wasn't making any. She didn't have any income, but so much amount of income. So you got on social media, made a video, recorded him saying you were paying him rent to live in your CMHA apartment. That was $100. Oh yeah, they be snatching that up like they snatched them girls up with food stamps that be lying, fake crime, making them TikTok videos to get food stamps saying they ain't got no jobs. Huh?
What the hell is CMHA?
That's the housing network. That like HUD homes. Those are housing networks.
Oh, okay. Each city got their own.
Right.
Yeah, but they're called. But the program is called
the HA part. The housing authority part don't change. But you got. I guess y'all got Cleveland Housing Authority. All of that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I was like, where's she at? Where she got CMFHA? I don't know what.
I don't know exactly where she was from. What city, but man,
I just was saying CMHA because I know CMHA. But them housing authority people, if somebody, when they see that video, and somebody gonna send it to them, because they're gonna calculate that as now her income, as she was receiving $2,900 a month.
Yeah, I was just wondering, can you actually add that as the income, because that's not
because she said
that back. They're gonna make.
She's gonna have to pay what everything back, the actual amount of what it is. They're gonna take her voucher away, and she's gonna have to pay the real rent. That's what they're gonna do, and they're gonna make her pay back however many $100 she was living there. If she was living there for 2 years, she's gonna have to pay all that back to them.
Yep.
And she's gonna have to pay, and she's gonna be dropped from that program. She's not gonna be able to sign up again. Wow. So she better hope don't nobody that don't like her don't send that to CMHS.
Well, it's a little too late now, because I think we helped her out too, because we put it on here. So I think we helped her out to be.
Everybody is
saying everybody's done that. She went viral, but that's my whole thing. That's why I said I feel like I'm two sides on it, because like, bruh, it's dogs out here. Why you giving a whole female $2,900 and it's not your wife? It's not your baby mama.
Oh my goodness.
You just out here just throwing free money around.
Oh,
so you
Monique,
you a simp. You like to be milked like a cow, because ain't nobody finna do that. But
a man will do that if you're looking at being married, if you're looking at investing time and a foundation into a family.
Oh, you think he was looking at it like that, Jazz? You think he was looking at it
that's I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him in the sense that you out here, you're a good brother, and you trying to do right out here by somebody, and they're taking advantage of you. Okay. That's why I said I see it on both sides. Like, she looking at you like you a whole simp and you a cow out here getting ready to be milked, but at the same time, you're also a good dude who's just trying to do right by your work.
Speaking from a man's perspective, he was looking at that as because we look at things as an investment in the woman that you with. So I think he was looking at that as an investment. And
he should have seen by them dried edges and them lip piercings that she was not a good investment. He should have seen by the way them edges was dried and fried that she was not a good investment.
All right, boy. I tell you, we could go for an hour on that one. But my last question, oh my God, I'm about to choke from laughing at that. My last question is this. Baby Kevin was basically telling the young lady in the video women having a type. The woman says, Kevin says women have a type of man they look for. Is this true? Do women have a type they look for? Because like Baby Kevin says, based on the outcome of most women's lives, they keep choosing the opposite of what they say they really want in a man. So is there really a type that women look for?
I would say yes.
They keep choosing the wrong one.
I would say yes. It really just depends on what they type is. Like the one girl said she likes scammers and she'll go to jail for a scammer. Not I. So she's looking for the type that is flashy, that is spending money easily. That's her type. She wants a man that's spending money, giving gifts easily.
I'm saying that's insane to go to jail with somebody.
It's insane.
That ain't even a type.
I want to go to jail.
Is that a type or is that insanity?
I think due to social media, it is a type that changed you to insanity. Ooh. That is now insanity, because at this point, baby girl, you willing to do anything for a Chanel bag or a Louis Vuitton bag on a fake credit card that may not go through, and y'all both in the mall waiting to see it go through, and no security run behind y'all to snatch y'all tails up. It's the thrill. That's what they seeking. That's what they like.
That's a thrill. Monique, is that a thrill? Get ran up on, like Jan said, by the authorities.
That's not the thrilling part of it from the ones that I've experienced, from the women that I'm close to who've experienced it. That's not the thrill.
What's the thrill?
The thrill for them is not having to worry.
Like, to do what?
They don't have to worry. Like, scamming is fast money. And if you're smart about it, you can do it for a while if you're smart about it. A lot of people not smart about it because, like I said, there's levels to scamming. I wasn't just saying that just to be funny. It's levels to scamming. You got your regular. It's really levels to scamming. Like, JP Morgan is a scam. I mean, if we just being honest with you, they just got an LLC behind their name.
No doubt.
It's levels to scamming. Mm-hmm. Your electric company is a scam. They just got an LLC behind their name. So depending on how you set up your scam, it could be a long time or it could be a quick hustle. Mm-hmm. So for some people, it's quick money. So they don't have to worry about it. It's fast money that's going to keep coming in. You don't
Yeah, that's on
necessarily
a
have
corporate
to
level
take
you talking
somebody's
about. Too.
credit card and go swipe it in the mall. That's a lower level scammer.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the wiser scammer is going to get online and say, "Hey, does anybody need help with this utility bill or that type?" That's the level up. Do you need help with this type of bill or that type of bill? I'll pay that for you if you give me this much in cash. That's the next level up from swiping.
But Baby Kevin was saying, I get that, but I'm saying Baby Kevin was talking about how women say they got a type, but they keep ending up with the wrong, choosing the opposite of what they say. Why is that? That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's because they want it to be their type, and then when they realize that that's like a woman who says she wants a man with a 9 to 5, right? After she been dealing with all these drug dealers, right?
Okay.
So a woman who says she wants a man who works a 9 to 5 after she been dealing with all these drug dealers, hustlers, scammers,
right?
It's a change. That's gonna be a financial change. That's gonna be some adjustments made. He's not gonna be able to scam and throw you $4,000 or $5,000 on a Monday that a man working a 9 to 5 can. He's just not doing that. He's doing. He's thinking smarter. He's working every day for his income. He's not about to just scam and
woman
give
want
you.
a man with some money, man. It don't make a difference.
That's
His
not
ass
what we talking about. We understand that.
So
We
at the end of the
talking
day,
about-
real quick, before my phone go out, that lady didn't scam that fucking man.
You don't think she did?
No, man. When you come in a situation and you meet somebody and they tell your ass you got to pay $2,300 in rent, and you don't sit.
This nigga can't
I get that. I get that. I
Right.
get
I want to hear
that.
what he gonna say on that though. Let me hear what he
Let
gonna
him
say.
say what he say for his phone go out.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if she say 2,300 and you don't ask where my motherfucking 2,300 going to, you can't go. Listen, no. You can't pull up in a driveway or a house that represents $2,300 worth of activity, and you the fool. But because he has an agenda too, then he offered to pay the shit till he realized he ain't getting his fucking money's worth. Now he want to get out of the motherfucking bread. That's all that shit is. Because at the end of the day, if you start off paying the shit and not giving a fuck where your money going, then why you care all of a sudden now, unless you ain't getting what you put what your end of the deal.
Do you think she should pay him some kind of restitution back?
Hell no, he should just leave.
That's it. Just
man, you go to a restaurant, get a bad motherfucking meal, they ain't finna give you no nigga you buy. You don't listen. He paid for what he got. His ass hustled himself. Man, if a woman asks you right now to pay all that money to come stay with her, and your motherfucking ass turn around and pay it and not seeing what you getting for $2,300, you a fool.
not checking, huh?
He a fool. Because if you go over a woman house and she give you some ass on the first night and you ain't even gave her the $2,300 now, and you could call her the next day, you ghost her, who look like the fool? Man, at the end of the day, when you first meet somebody and you want to take these motherfuckers for face value and you don't even know who you dealing with, that's your motherfucking fault.
Yeah, so that's your fault. Yeah, that's true. Hold on, before your phone go, I want to ask you this, Mr. Davis. Baby Kevin was saying something about women have a type of man they look for. Because is that true? And before you answer that, because he was saying that based on the outcome of most women lying, they keep choosing the opposite of what they say they really want.
They want a motherfucker with money, just the nice guy don't have it. You're not listening. It's the crook that got the goddamn money, so they end up with that. Man, they want convenience, man.
But I'm saying
they want convenience.
But they keep saying, I want the good guy. I want to, but I keep choosing the wrong guy.
And you got millions of niggas say they want to be married and then realize they can't settle down, dog. At the end of the day, don't nobody know what the fuck they want. They want what everybody else wants. You only find a handful of people in this world that don't follow everybody else's lead. And those are the ones that get the shit and find a way to be happy. But at the end of the day, you don't know what the fuck you want till you get it. But this is what women don't realize with all these fucked up relationships. The relationships are made to fail so you'll know what the fuck not to continue to do. But at the end of the day, because women look at every other woman and say, I should have the same shit she had, then she go out and do whatever the fuck she has to do to get the same shit another broad got. And it always ultimately turns into fucking failure. When you look at reality shows, they want all the nice cars, all the big houses, but at the end of the show, them bros always fucking crying because they're heartbroken. And then they sit there and say some dumb shit like this. I'd rather have love than money, but keep going to get the nigga that got the money knowing he ain't got time to love you.
So in other words, they keep choosing the opposite of what they say they really
Not
want.
only
They
that, Mr.
choosing. They
Davis,
want money, man.
I know.
Mr.
I hear that part, but I'm saying they'll say I
missed,
don't want that. I want love. But go ahead,
Mr. Davis, you missed one valuable point. This is one that you missed. Women love to lie to themselves and to people about
So they
who
can't
they
take the
are.
truth because they can't handle the truth. The
They
women
love to
want you
lie.
to, man. They want you to
They want
lie.
to lie about their image. They want to lie to make themselves
You think
look
they really
good.
want you to lie?
Yes, because it makes them feel good. The truth hurts, motherfucker. They don't want to hurt.
I said women lie about their
Right.
image. They lie to you about who they are. I'll call you right back. They lie.
They lie to
you.
their damn
They
self.
lie to
They don't lie to us.
They lie trying to make themselves look good and to appear good to you, when in reality the bullshit is what the bullshit really is. That's another thing that Mr. Davis was missing. It's not just about being a follower and wanting what somebody else has. It's lying about who you are to get what it is. Your homegirl got this nice good man, but you like drug dealers. You ever
but see, that be the funny part.
You ever been
I
on
don't
a double
believe.
date with another couple? You know
I
how
try not to
hard
do
it
that.
is to be on a couple's date, because everything that your wife see this man doing for his woman, she's comparing and contrasting. This
No,
woman,
that's the
what you
that.
doing for
Hey,
his wife,
you got the wrong woman. You got the wrong woman.
they
But
comparing and contrasting.
and that's suckers that go on those type of dates.
When they
Real
go
niggas
home,
don't do
they
that.
out on you because Tim pulled out the chair for his wife, but David, you ain't pull out the chair for me. So that's the problem. Now I don't have no good man no more. All this time before y'all went on that double date, she had the best man in the whole world. But once she went out on that double date, all of a sudden you ain't no good man no more because you ain't pulling out the chair for her. You ain't open the door. You ain't opened the door in the 20 years y'all been married. But because she saw another woman get it done, now all of a sudden it's an issue. Now,
Man,
because I'm finna get off this time. Ask me your question.
Yeah, that was just the last question. That was good. That was
Do
good.
I feel like women have a type?
that was terrible.
Do
that shit is terrible, man.
You don't think what she said was valid?
Hell no, that shit ain't valid.
What's not
keep your
valid?
camera off. Then your phone will stay on. Turn your camera back on.
Which part about what I said wasn't valid, Mr. David?
You sit there and you say women want
to trick to you. Your camera go off. You will stay on.
They don't want to be honest about the things who they are, A, B, and C. At the end of the day, they are honest. They don't want drugs. They want a motherfucker with money, whether he got a 9 to 5, whether he got inheritance, whether he got any of that. No.
That's not what I said.
But it is for the most part. You're trying to say women don't know what they want. Women choose the opposite.
That's not what I said. I haven't.
You started off by saying women lie to themselves. You started off by saying.
I was agreeing with your point, but I had not answered Tim's question yet. That's why I said to answer your question, Tim. I had not gotten to Tim's question.
Shit! So all that other. All that other shit. I ain't need that.
I was going off of what you were saying, but Tim, I had not answered his question yet. So to get to your question, Tim, because like I said before Mr. David interrupted me, I'm tired as hell. That's why I ain't got to stop.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I see these big ass bags under my eyes.
I see them. They look like Samsonite luggage.
They do like somebody punched me in my face. I'm too tired. I ain't slept in days, y'all. I'm not playing.
Man, you ain't got no motherfucking room to be talking about you. Let's roll with it.
We do. I have the mic. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, it's for you.
Order in the court.
I'm on your side.
Tim, what I was saying, we women do have a type.
They do have a type. Okay.
But most of the time, the type that we want, it requires either some work to go into getting that type, and we don't want to do the work, or B, we don't qualify for that type.
Oh, okay.
So it's not that we don't get what we want. It's not that we don't go after what we want. Okay. Most of the time we go after what we want, we don't get it. We get rejected. And it's also a little bit, it's like soul shattering. But then the one that you don't really want, he wants you, and you don't have to work that hard for it. It just falls into your lap kind. So you can put but
you also heard you get what you pay for, right? So if you just let the motherfucker fall in your lap that really ain't worth shit, then guess what? You ain't gonna get shit.
So you saying most women really don't get the guy that they really want?
Niggas, men don't either.
I was gonna say, don't nobody get. Not too many people get what they want.
Not too many people get.
Shit. Hell no.
Okay, so
I've
most
been
people.
wanting to baby for the last 7-8 years. I pay for that little leprechaun show every time he got one out. That nigga don't know my name. Can't think. So no, it ain't that. But what I will say, for example, I have somebody who I know who always says that they want the businessman, the one that's going to help them get where they need to be in life, the one that'll promote them and build them up. But they don't have what it takes to be at that table. Though they get those types of men because of their statuesque and how beautiful they are. When they sit down at that table with that type of man, the conversation is different from the drug dealer that they're used to.
Right, absolutely.
So at that point, though they want that type, they realize they can't keep up with that type. So it's easier to just go with what you know versus changing to get what you really want.
Okay.
No, it's not go with what you know, it's go with what you used to. Because the 9 times out of 10, the women that go with what they know be the ones that get fucked over anyway. See, the thing is, like I heard yesterday, you would rather give a motherfucking 20 men an opportunity to give one man 20 opportunities. At the end of the day, you have to know who it is you're dealing with. That's the whole purpose of being in a relationship. If being in a relationship don't tell you what you want, it damn sure should tell you what you don't want. And if you continue to pick the same type of motherfucker, that's like putting a key in a lock that don't motherfucking work. So regardless to what's easy for you, that is the whole thing. She said it without saying it. Laziness is why all of this shit. If you go in a relationship and you're not a blank canvas for the person that you like, then you're in trouble. The biggest problem we have now is relationships are scary because you don't know who the fuck you got. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who needs you. You don't know who got your back. You don't know none of that shit. But the biggest problem is we are damaged as people.
Yeah.
And until you find peace within your motherfucking self, let that relationship shit go. Women are turning, this finna be fucked up, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Women are turning relationships into prostitution, bruh. When you got men coming on Facebook, say I'd rather just pay for some pussy than even be in a relationship. It's that serious because watch this. I'm not gonna have sex with somebody, take her, wine and dine her, and treat her like a human being, and this bitch sue me for $50 million. Or watch this, even worse. This be the worst part. Sue me for the 30,000 I got, nigga. That's worse than 50 million. Cause now you get half, or now you getting all my shit. So at the end of the day, is it worth trusting? Is it worth giving your heart to a motherfucker that you probably can't never take care of?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all this. That's a whole nother show as far as should you trust somebody to give all your heart to. Jazz, you got anything you want to say this before we go on about choosing the opposite type and say they want this type of man? There's anything you want
Jazz ain't got no good track record. We don't need to get it. No, I'm just playing. You know I'm just trying to get you out, baby.
Yes, cut him out, friend.
You know I'm just trying to get you started. You know I see you all week last week.
You want, friend, we could get him on 3-way after we can go in on his team. Don't be over that spot. You ain't gotta take that, friend.
Hey, hold on, Monique. Monique, don't forget Jazz say she was dropping that truck off with you.
Last time Mr. Davis got up here, he already told us that he left that woman because she won't pull her weight, friend. So we ain't even. We can't talk about no track record.
You better stop spreading lies. I ain't never saying no shit.
I got your back, friend. I got your back. You sit over there and do your project.
Jazz,
I got your back.
Don't let her fuck up this relationship. She tried to blow it again, like we said last time.
I'll start the intro to help
you
out.
Put to the clips, the place to be with no.
I got your back.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Can I just say this before we go?
Jazz, what time that corn on the cob going on the grill?
Don't even let him get no that friend. He talking about your track record. He talking about your track record. He can't even step in the field. He talking about your record.
Join the man, Tim. Let's talk for a while. On the Clips podcast show.
Smoke, if you're watching. Smoke, if you're watching. We miss you.
Like,
not the
subscribe,
same
share.
without you,
For those who watch it, make sure you stay in. Make sure you like and subscribe so we can make the algorithm go up. And y'all can keep hearing from Mr. Davis and Jay and wherever they at. Tune in. We have more subjects. We'll get to the fun stuff. We'll get to that. We all confused right now. We'll get to it. Y'all be good. Peace.
Smoke, we miss you. Come back, Smoke.
Wednesday.
Smoke, we miss you.